see if I can connect my headphones to properly. It's absolute carnage.
You wouldn't have me any other way.
No, I would not. No, I would not. No. Oh, speckle. Ooh. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to the live stream. First time live. I appreciate it. I grew it myself. With a little bit of effort, I'm sure you can do it as well. I guess it depends how old you are, but yeah, I'm sure you can. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So mindfulness and spirituality talk. If you guys want to ask me anything at all about mindfulness, spirituality, and my perspective towards it, go for it. I'm happy to answer any questions. It's absolutely like ridiculously hot where we are. I am 32. Do I look it? Probably look older with the beard. I'm from Lithuania originally, but touring around the UK right now, living in the van, enjoying the beauty of nature. But it's absolutely crazy hot here. It's only like 24, 26 degrees maybe today Celsius, but my god, like if either of you have been in the UK, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous how crazy the heat is. Like 26 probably feels like 36. Yeah, they do the job. They do the job. I appreciate it though. I appreciate it. Have you watched any of my content or did you just find me on the live stream? I am not sure what that question is. What do you mean by do you live? Oh, do I live stream? No, it's literally my first live stream. Uh, just testing it out, seeing how it goes, see if I can have a chat with people. As my channel is all about mindfulness and spirituality, so yeah, I don't know how much of my content you've seen, but yeah, just want to have a chat with people and help them overcome difficult issues in their life they might have through potentially unconventional means. Because a lot of people think spirituality and mindfulness is just all about woo-woo and weird stuff, but yeah, it's not. It's not really. No, I don't. So because a bunch of people jump on, a bunch of people leave. Like jump on, ask a few questions, leave. um, Not much really. I don't have time for that, to be honest. I just enjoy nature most of the time, because like I said, I live in the van, so yeah, mostly enjoy nature. Sitting outside, having contemplations about life. No, I don't have any kids, and as a matter of fact, I don't really want to have kids, oddly enough. Um, yeah, I feel like there's a lot to learn about life as is, and until I feel like I've learned about life enough, I won't really be able to teach my kids whatever there is to teach about life. Hello, welcome. At this exact moment, live streaming for the first time. For the first time ever. Seeing how it goes, seeing if I can connect to people, teach them a little bit about mindfulness and spirituality, if anybody has any questions to ask. Indeed, first time. I appreciate you being here for it. I appreciate you being here for it. Hopefully I can hopefully I can give you some good nuggets of information or something that I can share, etc. But yeah, guys, any questions? Any questions about mindfulness and spirituality? Go for it. Happy to answer anything. Or, as a matter of fact, anything you're struggling with, I might be able to give you a different perspective towards it. Because sometimes we struggle with some things that we just try to find solutions through conventional means, but it just doesn't make any change at all, doesn't bring us happiness, contentment, peace. But maybe I can offer you a different perspective towards what your suffering is right now. Any difficulties, hardship. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Skeptic AA. I appreciate the nice words. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support as well. But yeah, I might be able to do these a bit more often as well, depending on time. It's just a bit more. I'm a bit more time constrained because I have a community that I run now as well. So yeah, it really depends on how often I can do this. But yeah, I'll try and do this as often as possible. Olha, oh, I'm gonna butcher your name. I apologize in advance, but Olha Lisicka. Um, any topic really, anything you can think of, anything that you want me to try and answer, any difficulties that you have, any hardships, any barriers in life that you seemingly cannot overcome through conventional means, go for it, ask away. Skeptic, high levels of anxiety lately. perhaps the first thing to try and do is, obviously you recognize the fact that you have anxiety, but maybe have a think about where it's coming from. Have you thought about it? Do you know where it's exactly coming from? But because obviously anxiety can come from so many different perspectives. But anxiety is a type of fear. It's a type of fear towards the future, right? You're anxious about something that's going to happen in the future, but we don't really know what's going to happen in the next 5 seconds. As far as I'm concerned, I don't know, a pebble is going to fly into my window and knock the phone out of my hand. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. Same thing with anxiety. We don't know what's going to happen, but our brain tries to solve that. Our brain tries to solve that by perpetually trying to create some sort of a fictional future, and that perpetual creation of that fictional future creates a lot of hardship, a lot of anxiety. It's a non-stop functioning of your brain that is not correct. Your brain's not functioning properly when it's creating this anxiety. That's unnecessary, but recognition is good because it's the first step, and I talked about the 5 steps of emotional freedom in one of my videos. If you check it out, then you have embrace, then you have understanding, and then you have insight. If you go through all these 5 steps um, towards emotional freedom, it really helps you pinpoint what the insights are in different scenarios. So then when it comes to a situation that might present you with a similar feeling or kind of emotional position, then you might be able to avoid it or even overcome it a lot easier. I hope that helps. Right, again, if I butcher any names, I apologize. Jotvingus or Jotvingus. How does one find purpose in their life? So, personally, I think a purpose is only necessary if you can do your absolute best in the present moment as you're trying to achieve your purpose. So if you look at a purpose would be comprised of different goals, right? To get to that goal, we build routines and we build habits. So you kind of go to like a deeper level. But habit building only is efficient when we build habits by being fully and truly present in the moment. Because if you're fully and truly present in the moment, you will have no choice but to do your absolute best. If you do your absolute best building your habits, then you will inevitably build very good routines, which will inevitably take you to your goals, which will inevitably take you to a purpose. Otherwise, there's no point in having a purpose in life if you will not do your absolute best to achieve it, right? So that's one way of looking at it. That's how I look at it. However, if you absolutely need a purpose, if you absolutely feel like you need to achieve something in life, let it be happiness, contentment, and peace. Because we all come to this life, to this reality, to achieve happiness, contentment, and peace. That's all it is. Everything we do, we want. Everything we do, we want. We basically want to achieve these things through everything we do, right? That's all it is. Literally, none of us came here to suffer in perpetuity. All of us came here to suffer, to change, to change through suffering towards happiness, contentment, and peace. That's how I see it. Hopefully that helps. Oh, nice. Why is that I am surrounded by people who are constantly talking and taking and asking, but when I finally say no, I get gaslighted? That is a good question. Perhaps your energy feels very safe, very giving. That's another video that I posted recently. Surprise, surprise. But maybe your energy feels very safe and very giving, and people can be like parasites sometimes. If they feel like your energy is good, if it feels like your energy is going to give something to them, if they have a low frequency or a parasitic energy, they will abuse your spark, and they will use your spark to set up wildfires. So you have to be careful with who you give your spark to. You have to give your sparks of your good energy to people that will utilize that good energy to start their own campfire a safe campfire that will allow them to stay warm and safe and within light, right? Hopefully that makes sense, but I wouldn't necessarily say that you are surrounded by negativity. It's not a bad thing. It's just learning how to recognize good frequencies, right? Learning how to recognize good energies. It's just a matter of practice. Like, sometimes when you walk into a room and there's another person, you can just feel this malicious kind of gray, dark aura about them. Some people you just instantly don't feel good about. This is your intuition, and you build your intuition through understanding yourself. Like, you have to really understand yourself, understand your emotions, understand why you feel a certain way. Perhaps this feeling that you're getting, that you feel like um, you're constantly surrounded by people that are taking from you and asking, but then you're being gaslit. What about that feeling of being gaslit? Maybe you need to try and understand it. Like I said, those 5 steps towards emotional freedom, right? If you take those 5 steps where you recognize that you feel like you're being gaslit, then you accept it, embrace it, and understand it. I can't bend 4 fingers without my fifth straightening, but understand it, and then create insight. And once you have the insight built up, you will have a set of situations, a set of kind of qualities of a certain event or scenario that might help you avoid these people, avoid being gaslit, right? I'm not necessarily saying avoid suffering or hardship, um, but there are scenarios where avoiding stuff like hardship or suffering is good, right? Because you don't need to go through the same thing over and over and over again, where when you can simply build insight and avoid it. Means being that's what it means to be mindful, right? If you're mindful about all of your insights that you build through this emotional work, the shadow work, you will be able to avoid it. You will be able to not get into these situations that will give you discomfort. And then you get closer to perpetual happiness, contentment, and peace in life because you don't get into these situations. Not intentionally eventually, but through a sense of habit, through a sense of automation, like it just happens. That's what mindfulness is. That's why we do that shadow work. That's why we go through those 5 steps. Skeptic, I've realized we live in expansion and contraction phases, so sometimes we go through bad, good times, essentially. I'm trying to have acceptance and non-judgment, whichever phase I'm in. That's good. That's really good. It's a huge step in spirituality and mindfulness, because if you don't accept and you judge the situation, you're judging creation itself. You're denying the only thing that's real, which is this moment, right? The only reason why it's real is because we're observing it. We're putting this moment into existence through the notion that we are conscious and aware. Consciousness and awareness gives rise to reality. And because we are aware, we are conscious, we observe. Through the observation, we give rise to reality. And denying that and not accepting that is literally an invitation for pain and suffering. Pain and suffering that through that perpetual denial and non-acceptance will only stay as such, as opposed to being an opportunity to change and grow and become better and more open to experience. But yeah, that's a good step. That's a very good thing to do, and it's very difficult. Like acceptance and non-judgment is so difficult. I struggle with it a lot as well. Like, accepting myself is a very difficult thing for me. Um, Stressful situations are very difficult for me when it comes to, like, for example, I live in a van and there's like small mechanical issues with the van, and then we have to sort it out and make sure we find accommodation, and then we have a cat, so like getting a cattery booked in and all these things, and so much stress and hardship and everything. But I'm learning to accept the stress. I'm learning to not judge the situation and not judge myself for being stressed, because I'm essentially denying myself a full experience of each moment by stressing and by not accepting it and denying it. So yeah, it's just a very long way of saying, well done, skeptic. Keep it up. uh, Olive QA22. Did you experience meditation detox? Was it all nice and easy, or did you experience turmoil? So I assume by meditation detox you mean not meditating for an extended period of time? Is that what you mean? Okay, so if you mean, I'll answer it in a couple of ways, so hopefully that helps you in some sort of a way. So if you mean your ego fighting back when you're meditating, then yes, it is completely normal and it should happen because your ego will fight peace and calm. If you mean your ego fighting back the notion of meditating, yes, it's also normal, and I have experienced it, and I experience it still. I experience it every single day because I'm still not at a point, even after years of practice, I'm still not at a point where I I can meditate without any hardship, without any sorry, I meant difficult situations with people. Instead of living in peace with people, I seem to get more angry and traumas resurfacing. Is that what you're getting from meditation, you mean? Like the more you meditate, the more you go into it? Right, so let me answer this for you then. That makes sense. So I actually talked about this with my wife, and I think it's a good analogy. So we have a baseline frequency, right? And we have a threshold of how high our emotions impact us. So let's say my baseline frequency is here, and all of my emotions up to my nose, let's say, right? That's my baseline frequency. My baseline frequency, my wife just tried helping me, but I'm okay. My, my baseline frequency is here, and my emotions usually go up to the bottom of my mustache, let's say, right? That's my emotions. But when you practice meditation, when you practice spirituality, when you practice being mindful, assume your frequency actually increases, right? Technically, we go into a higher frequency, but let's say that baseline level that I talked about, it starts going down. It's like noise, it's like background noise to existence, to your reality. So that background noise starts going lower. And when it goes lower, below those emotions, all those emotions that were here, your emotions will start resurfacing. So perhaps trauma will start resurfacing when you're when that baseline is going lower, when that noise is going away from meditation, from mindfulness, from spirituality, when it's almost like silence becomes so loud that you cannot help but notice these things, like angry people, traumas resurfacing, maybe being the fact that you're being gaslit. Like all these things will become more clear because you're more aware, you're more conscious of everything that's happening around you. And I talked about it with my wife as well, like I said, and her her, her emotions are big. Like she has a very big threshold for emotions, so she was feeling them more frequently, right? She was more aware of them, so she was able to do the shadow work much sooner. But she has a more substantial shadow work to do because her emotions are big and substantial, right? But sometimes, if let's say I'm just assuming, right? you don't get hit like a truck by emotions usually. But if you're practicing mindfulness and spirituality, if you start doing meditation and you're consistent, again, that noise that you always had is gonna drop down, and the things that were behind the noise will become loud because you'll be in silence. It's like, I don't know, it's like you're in a noisy environment. I don't know, it's like you're in a noisy environment and you don't hear your cat meowing for food or something, but then the noisy environment's gone and you're like, oh my god, my cat's meowing for food, I need to go give her food or something. You know, something along those lines. So you have that noise and that noise goes away and the silence becomes loud because all of these things that you need to work through, the shadow work that you need to do becomes apparent. Hopefully that makes sense. And I think that that might be something that you're experiencing. Hmm? Hmm. You're just becoming comfortable with it, like my wife just said as well. Like becoming comfortable with emotions, because obviously you're noticing all these things, just making sure you don't um, deny you don't deny them. Just make sure you accept them, so you become comfortable with them. Thank you very much. Also, you started talking about ego getting triggered when you actually want to meditate. Sometimes I find it difficult to focus. How do you overcome this? It's it's quite a conundrum because uh, things like that happen all the time in spirituality. You will Your ego will get triggered because it is uncomfortable. But that's what we want. We want discomfort to be able to grow. But the more you notice that it's difficult to focus, the more difficult it will become to focus. Essentially, the more you try, the more difficult it becomes to try. Which makes no sense. I know it makes no sense, but that's mindfulness and spirituality 101, literally right here. Nothing makes sense when you start practicing it, but the only thing I would say is try and let it be. Don't, okay, maybe not try, but just let it be. Don't try to do anything. And if you're really, really struggling, a really nice trick to do is ask yourself in your mind with your voice, ask yourself this question: I wonder what my next thought will be. And it's quite a powerful trick because once you ask yourself that question, it's kind of like a little glitch in the system. Your mind will start to try and figure out what the next thing is going to be that it's going to think of, and it will struggle to think of something because it's trying to think of what it's going to think. It's like this non-stop loop that happens. Eventually, you will start to think, but it will give you a slight respite. It will give you a little bit of a cool down period so you can compose yourself and become the observer. You just want to observe your ego. Because the reason why you start getting triggered, why it becomes difficult to focus, is because you become very strongly attached to your ego as you meditate. So obviously we create these personalities, right? So me, for example, I can say that my personality is ailandas.sulcas. My personality is a mindfulness and spirituality guide. My character is this flesh and bones, right? But it's not. It's it's something that's created. Like my flesh and bone is created by atoms, by carbon atoms, by hydrogen, by water, by all these things, right? By oxygen. My name has been given to me. My experiences, my past, all my past is something that has happened to me, but it's not me, right? It just created this character. And that's what the ego is. And we become so strongly associated with it because it has substance. Like looking at a table, I know it's a table because it's an object that has a substance of a table, right? So we are comfortable with our character, this persona that we have developed, and that is our ego. And we are familiar with it, so it's easy to get attached to it. It's easy to get attached to things that we are familiar with, to things that are comfortable. But becoming someone that's observing, just observing, but doesn't have substance. Like, what is awareness, right? What is it made out of? Like, what shape does it have, right? It doesn't have any substance, so it's very difficult to become the observer, to be fully and truly aware, to be fully and truly conscious as you're meditating, because we don't know what it is. We don't know what substance that is, so we don't know how to become those things as we meditate. But if you just let things be as you're meditating, just let it be. If you have this perpetual chatter in your mind, just let it be. Just watch it. Just watch it happen. But if you watch the perpetual chatter, let's say the perpetual chatter is like, oh, why am I meditating? And then you answer that question, oh, because I want to get better. I want to try and become more present. I want to try and become more mindful. But why are you doing this? Well, because I want to, you go into this conversation. That's when you become the ego again. But just let it be. Don't answer the questions. Just listen to the questions. Let them pass through you like little clouds, and you're sitting in this meadow and just watching the clouds pass by. That's what you want to try and do. And again, try is a very sensitive word when it comes to these things. You don't want to try and do anything. You just sit there, lie there, whichever meditation you do, and just watch things happen. See what happens. You don't have to make anything happen, but just see what happens. It's yeah, you just have to sit through it and let it happen. And there's no solution to it. There's literally there's no magic pill or magic sentence that I give to you that's gonna be like, oh my god, that's it, I can focus now. It's just a case of letting it be. Just let moment to moment unfold the way it's supposed to unfold, because it will only unfold the way it's supposed to unfold and no way else. Hopefully that helps in some way, shape, or form. Because I know most of it might be very difficult to comprehend, or might not make sense, because again, spirituality is a very alternative way of looking at things, mindfulness as well. Yeah, pretty much. So it is literally just a case of sticking to it. And regardless of the fact that we try and um, create separation between being the observer and our mind, right? We're still doing something physically, right? Our brain's still engaged. What happens during meditation is we start producing a neurotransmitter called endocannabinoid, which is why you sometimes, when you meditate, you get these rushes, you get these euphoric moments, you get these moments of like separation from your body, perhaps, right? Um, so it is something that is making your brain work. And if you do it consistently, if you do it regularly, you will build something called neuroplasticity. You will create neural pathways in your brain, and only through consistency, through building it as a habit, as a routine, you will become a lot better at it. You, and the best thing is you just won't have a choice. You will become better at it, right? It's like with anything in life. We are creatures of habit, right? Regardless if you deny it or not, we are creatures of habit. So um, we will only become better at something if we do it consistently over and over and over again. And the good thing about meditation is that once you get to a certain point where you're like, oh my god, I actually am sleeping better. I'm actually not reacting to these minor moments that were giving me massive headaches. I'm actually a lot more peaceful. I'm actually a lot more calm. Like all these things that start resurfacing slowly, bit by bit. It's not an overnight fix. It's not a quick fix. Like I've been doing it for what, nearly 4 years now, and still, it's a very difficult practice. It's a very, very hard practice. And in fact, I'm actually hopefully going to a Vipassana retreat in September, which is a 10-day meditation retreat where we meditate for 10 hours every single day. So I feel like I need this push, right? I'm at this point where if I meditate for an hour a day, it's it's not enough for me to push myself far enough so I can get to the next level, so to say, right? So I need to push myself deeper, but that doesn't mean that you need to do that, right? It doesn't mean that you have to meditate for an hour every single day. I'm just very dedicated to this, right? This is my life. This is how I make my living, right? I'm a mindfulness and spirituality guide, and I want to be. It's literally what I live for right now, right? This meditation, mindfulness, spirituality. So that's why I'm going so deep into it. But you don't have to do these things. Most of the people will be happy meditating for like, I don't know, max 30 minutes a day, because it is a very intense practice. But the benefits that you will get from it, even though minute, can be literally life changing. There's actual physical changes as well, like um, your chromosomes, for example. The ends of your chromosomes are called telomeres, and they shorten with age. They are what show the age, like the wrinkles and the gray hairs and the hunchback and whatever, like all these things, like that our energy drops because those telomeres in our chromosomes shorten. But meditation has been proven to actually reduce the shortening, or in some cases lengthen the telomeres. So through meditation you can actually add age, I don't know if that makes sense, add longevity to your life. That's what I wanted to say. You are most welcome. I'm glad I could give you some helpful tips, hopefully. But yeah, let me know how it goes. Maybe just comment on a random video. Just let me know how it went. Helps me get better at how I help people as well. And by the way, for those of you watching, if you want to uh, join my community where I teach people things like that, but more in depth, there's a community that I have. It's completely free. I help people with daily affirmations as well, and I post exclusive content there. It's fairly new, it's fairly fresh, but you should be able, I'm not sure because I'm streaming for the first time, but there's a description in this video, so if you click on the description, there is a link there. So yeah, shameless plug, but you know, it's a completely free community, and I genuinely feel like I'll be able to help people. And by the way, for your specific use, I'll be posting a lot of guided meditations there. I have 15 guided meditations scheduled for beginners as well, so there's all kinds of meditations that are coming, so you'll be able to practice if that's something that you're interested in, of course. Yeah, I'll stay on for another minute. Let's see if any more questions come through, and if not, I'll probably wrap it up for the day. I'm gonna go enjoy the cooling down of the day because we're absolutely melting. I'm literally could probably squeeze my shirt and sweat would just drip out of it. It's so warm. UK is ridiculously humid and warm at the moment, anyway. Um, I have a question, wife.
Okay.
Somebody's asking, do you have an account?
Me.
Yes.
My BPD Instagram, if they're interested.
Yeah?
It's fresh though, like.
Yeah, that's
it's
fine.
new.
Can I send the message on here?
If they just look for BP Diaries, they might find me.
Right. Do you want to open up your Instagram? I'll show you her Instagram page. She talks about BPD, which is borderline personality disorder, something that she's been diagnosed with.
It's new. It's fresh.
It's a new account, but she talks about her hardships and how she overcame her emotional difficulties. So it's really good. If that's something that you want to find out about more, then yeah, it's she's very good at what she actually teaches me a lot about stuff as well. So it is this. It's called BP Diaries. B.P. Diaries. The camera doesn't really show it properly. Hopefully that you can see that's alright, but yeah, again, I'll say B.P. Diaries. Yeah, no problem at all. If you just search on Instagram B.P. Diaries or look for Sophie Schulz's BPD journal, you should be able to find her. I'm just a viewer. She watched the video about your interview and she resonated a lot, so she wants to follow you.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, she doesn't have a YouTube. No problem at all. She doesn't have a YouTube, just an FYI, but yeah, she just mostly uses Instagram, so hopefully you find it. If not, I don't know if you have my Instagram, but obviously all my socials are on my YouTube, so if you do struggle to find her, just drop me a message on Instagram and I'll share her account with you. That's no problem at all. But yes, pretty decent first live stream. Some good pieces of information, hopefully, for everyone. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I'll try and do these more often if I can, if time permits. But yeah, most of the high caliber content, like guidance and spirituality stuff, is going to be on my mastermind group. So if you guys want to join, again, the link's in the description. Otherwise, as always, I love you all, and I will speak to you all very, very soon. Peace and love, and goodbye.